right, y'all. I'm not gonna take up a whole lot of y'all's time. Y'all know that's what I say, right?
Sorry.
Starting with the day today. Today we're gonna take a look at righteousness or self-righteousness. There's a difference. And I don't know no better people than Israelites that need to understand that difference. A very, very important topic that we as Israel, we as servants of YAH, need to truly understand. And sometimes, when we be out here and we be dealing with people, trying to show them a little bit of truth or whatever, it can sometimes be vexing. And when we get into that vexing spirit, when we be dealing with people, it can turn into a self-righteous dynamic. Because unbeknown to us, we allow the spirit of Yah to lead, and it be our own spirit that take over. And in the spirit of Yah, we supposed to be able to administer or represent His truth in the fruits of the Spirit. Even when the opposition comes, shows His face, we still supposed to not yield to that opposition and be that much more into the spirit of the Messiah. And if we're not taught this and reminded of this on a constant basis, then we'll lose, if that makes sense. You'd be surprised how many of us be knowing the law inside and out. We be ready to talk about the law, whatever. But because we have not been taught spirit, we don't know how to really bring it out. So this is one aspect of it. Righteousness and self-righteousness. So look, let's quickly go into the book of Isaiah, 64th chapter. This is amazing. Every time I do a lesson, 64. I'll be having all these other scriptures be coming in my head like, oh, but we don't care, man. Shoot.
It's some inside the thing. It's some pins.
Oh, yeah.
I think they 65.
I know, 65. 65.
Oh, yeah.
You don't just bring me in here.
It was. That's where I put them. It's 12:30. Is there pins in front of you?
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Well,
Here we go. Right there.
thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Fire Master.
Minister of music.
Girl, so silly.
Sadly, though, our minister of music ain't making 6 figures, but that's another lesson. All right, y'all, we're in Isaiah 64. Let's start this in verse 1.
Isaiah 64 from the top. Oh, that thou wouldest rend the heavens, that thou wouldest come down, that the mountains might flow down at thy presence. As when the melting fire burned, the fire caused the waters to flow, to make thy name known to thine adversaries, that the nation may tremble at your presence. When thou did trouble, things which we looked not for, thou came down, the mountains flowed down at your presence. For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither have the eye seen, O Elohim, besides you, what he hath prepared for them that wait for him.
We have not, man. We don't even, we can't even imagine it, seriously. But since the beginning of the world, men have not heard nor perceived by the ear, neither have the eye seen no Elohim beside thee, what he hath prepared for him that waited for him. And we can't even comprehend it. Go ahead. But check this out though. That's deep. You know, people in the Christian dynamic, they'll read that and they'll be like, yeah, you're right. You know, we're still here living in the flesh and going whatever. But check this out though. We can comprehend things that the prophets prophesied that they couldn't comprehend. How about that? Yep. See, that puts it on a whole nother dynamic, right? Right? Yep. Just using this. I can use so many examples, it ain't even funny. But just imagine some of the stuff that John wrote in Revelations, you know, about the two witnesses, which we still haven't seen yet. But the whole dynamic of the Father come to destroy them that destroy the earth, that right there still boggles my, it don't boggle my mind now, right. But it boggles my mind because I'm always reading it from the dynamic of when it was written, right? And John had to be like, hey, hold up for a second.
What do you mean, the seven head, and you see to these and what?
No, who destroys the earth? Like,
yeah, well.
Even in the, everybody's seeing the two witnesses, like how they gonna see the two witnesses?
Right, right. And I had mentioned that, I probably should have mentioned that, but we still got to bear witness of that. But I'm talking about stuff that we can bear witness of, that they couldn't bear witness of. Like when the prophets, Isaiah prophesied of Mashiach,
yeah,
right? He didn't really know, he just prophesied what was given to him. And of course, when Shemaiah prophesied about Israel being in the captivity to the four corners of the earth, who knew? You see what I'm saying? No? Like, who knew? You know, Daniel in the 9th chapter, Daniel said, look, we have sinned and done wickedly. And all the what was written in the law of Moses that come upon us. And we sit here like, wait a minute, not Daniel. Not everything. You see what I'm saying? But as far as Daniel was concerned, this is it. But Daniel, you know, and the Father showed Daniel all the way to the end time. But Daniel still had a little bit of something that we didn't have in that time. You know, Shemaiah was talking about a time when we wouldn't even know who we were. We couldn't even be called by our names, man. We would be taken into lands that they didn't even know existed. They didn't even know it existed, man. They had no idea. Their concept of the world was that map right there. Deep. Okay? But absolutely, we have not seen nor heard anything of what the Father had prepared for those of us that wait on him. Verse 5.
Thou meet him that rejoice and work righteousness, those that remember you in your ways. Behold, thou art wroth, for we have sinned. Those in countenance, continuous. In those is continuous, and
right.
We shall be saved.
Right. So this is the reason why I got here, when he said concerning for we have sinned. The prophets, when they talk to people, this is what they always stated. You know, we collectively have sinned. And none of these prophets of the Most High ever tried to make themselves to be more than what the people were. But that's what we do.
Yo, that's funny because they, I guess, like in Christian churches, like, oh, prophet so-and-so coming to speak at the church or whatnot, and then this guy come, you know, he's speaking, but it's not. Most of the time it does edify, but it doesn't edify the body or expose the sin of the people or where we at.
Yeah.
You know, just saying something for good news and saying, oh yeah, you're gonna have this, you're gonna do this and this. The Father don't even work like that.
Right, exactly.
He works according to his will.
Right, exactly.
And
You know.
sometimes we put our will before his.
Mm-hmm. Most times we put our will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's what this is about, man. Through the Spirit of the Most High and knowing how to be a righteous servant, man. We got to humble ourselves. We didn't always keep Shabbat. We didn't always turn down Christmas invitations. We didn't always eat according to the sanctified diet. We didn't always love our enemies or whatever. So many things that we have come to understand through the Spirit of Yah, we have been guilty of most of those things.
Yeah.
And even after coming to this truth, we still,
Fall short.
huh?
Fall
Yeah.
short.
Fall short. I'm glad that's the perfect way of saying it. My mind was trying to figure out a better way, but that's the best way. We still fall short. Absolutely, we still fall short. So why in the world do we got to act like we're so much better than everybody else? You know, don't. If there are people that gonna say, "Oh, this brother think he's better than everybody else," just by the mere fact that he's keeping the commandments. But when it's because he's coming across like y'all, look, man, I know this, I'm better than everybody else. Now you messing up. Because that's not what the Father has given us to do, has given us to be. All right? But that's what this is about, man. Understanding that we were not always at the place that we are. You know, just like I always tell the story of when I was in Indianapolis, I had a little spot, a little bit smaller than this. And this elder brother come in there, man, I don't know how people still be doing this. I don't know how they be, and he be going up in the church every Sunday for whatever reason. I don't know why they still celebrate this and that. Like, bro, just because, and I told him that, just because you know not to do it, you didn't always know not to do it, but in your mind, you're mystified by what everybody else is doing.
Right.
That's contrary to the word of the Most High. Don't be mystified when you know that you was there just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Don't be mystified by that. Let's go to 1 Kings 8 chapter. We go there all the time, man. This is one of them places. Huh?
I
Oh,
know.
get 7? I wasn't sure. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Hold up. Let's go back. Where we at? 64 and 7?
6.
Okay, verse 6.
But we are,
I did skip. Right.
but we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away.
Wow, how about that? That's a Selah right there. Yeah, I kind of ran. Sorry about that. But we are, man. He said we are. And I like I said, he don't say some of y'all are clean. Some of y'all are like filthy rags, man. I can't understand it. But that's what he said. We are all as unclean things. And all our righteous are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf. And our iniquities like the wind have taken us away. Absolutely. Everything that sometimes, the things that we deal with on a daily basis that's contrary to what we desire, whatever, it just might be something within us that we need to check. So we can get that block removed. Straight up. Straight up. You want to read more into that or what? You good?
Okay,
You good?
All right, I reckon we can do that 7. But it's something in 65 that kind of hit on that too.
Yeah. You know what? Keep going. Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And there is none that call upon your name that stir up himself to take hold of you, for thou hast hid your face from us, and hast consumed us because of our iniquities.
Woo!
Verse 8.
Us again, all together, not just me. Go ahead.
But now, O Master, thou art our Father, we are the clay, and and thou art potter. We all are the work of your hand.
That's right. We are all the work of his hand. So why would we not want his spirit to go before us as representing his work? You know, you want to be a child of the Most High, then we need to act like the Most High. And to act like the Most High means to put yourself, whatever that is within you, you need to put that on the back burner for a second. Let the spirit of Yah reign. Give him the increase. Go ahead.
Go ahead, verse 8. Verse 8, but now, O Yahuwah, thou art our potter, we are the clay, and thou art our potter. We are all the work of your hand.
Yep.
Be not wroth, very sore, O master.
That's right, Father. Please don't be wrong with us. Please don't. That's a good prayer right there. That's an awesome prayer. Go ahead.
O Yahuwah, neither remember iniquity forever. Behold, see, we beseech you, we are all your people.
Yep.
Verse 10, the holy cities are a wilderness. Zion is a wilderness. Jerusalem a desolation. Our holy, and our beautiful house, where our fathers praise you, is burned up with fire, and all our pleasant things are laid waste. Wilt thou refrain yourself of these things, O Master, O Yahuwah? Wilt thou hold your peace and afflict us very soul?
See again, man. See, we read these words, man. But the words don't even give you the whole sense of what our people saw and dealt with even back then. You know, Isaiah was a prophet then, and he saw the fall of the northern kingdom. He saw when Yahuwah was about to be taken through the whole Babylonian dynamic that was going on there, man. And that was some wild stuff that we went through, man. We, like I said, we're just reading it, but we can't comprehend, man. Jeremiah and the book of Lamentations, the stuff that they saw. And we got our bread by the peril of our lives because of the sword in the wilderness. Our skin turned black like an oven because of the what?
Famine? Famine?
Huh?
Famine?
Boy, what? Joseph. Because of the terrible famines. That's right. That's right.
That's a good one. I wonder what the Jewish people think about that. That was 12:30.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I'm just saying though, we saw some stuff back then, man. Right now, we don't read about it. And like I said, words does not captivate the whole fear dynamic of what the people together had to deal with. And all that stuff is going on just because of our refusal to be obedient. You know, there's nothing about the Father's commandments, when you really think about it, that's detrimental to us. Nothing. Nothing about his commandments is detrimental. So why would we not want to be obedient to his commandments? You know? Anyway, y'all, real quick, let's go into 2 Kings.
Wait, before you go there, look.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Psalm 65, it kind of go with the title, righteous or self-righteous.
Okay.
So then look at
Blue
verse 5,
highlight.
you say,
Wait, hold on. Slow it down.
I'm looking
we
for
in
a blue
Isaiah
highlight.
65, all right? Oh, you know that.
Isaiah 65.
Okay.
But, I'm going to read down to verse 6.
1-6?
Yeah. So I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all day unto a rebellious people, which walk in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. And people that provoke me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens, and burn incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves, enlarging the monuments, which eat swine flesh and broth of abominable things in their vessels, gumbo. We say,
Man, you are so right. I don't know why you have this in here. Go ahead.
so but in verse 5,
Yeah.
we say, stand by yourself. Don't come over here. Come down here to me, for I am holier than thou. Holier than thou. These are smoke in my nose, a fire that burn all day.
Man, see, that's awesome. I didn't even have this in this lesson, man. That right there, you can close the book on that one right there. That all by itself, let you know how important this lesson is, man. Because that's the mindset. Stand by yourself. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Stand by yourself. Don't even come near me, because I am so much holier than you. Man, I am so holy, man. You shouldn't even be in the same state that I'm
Be
in.
in my presence right
Man,
now.
I shouldn't even know who you are.
Cat here.
Father said, these are smoke in my nose. Father don't do cigarettes, y'all. That's what that's. He said, y'all are smoke in my nose, a fire that burned all day. In other words, Father, like I should be upset with them, but I'm upset with you. Because you got my name in your mouth, and you acting like you better than everybody else down here, and you're supposed to be a priest. This fits also with the lesson I just did about love the nations as the priest nation of YAH. Because you can't be acting like that, like you better than everybody else. Walking around. And you can't even talk to them people because you got a problem with them people. Like Jonah, I ain't got him in the lesson either. You know, I'm too good to go to Nineveh. Man, don't send me to Nineveh, man. Them people are heathens. You get on the ship going to some other heathens. The Spaniards, Tarshish. Ain't that something? He wasn't even trying to stay around Israel. He was going the opposite direction to Tarshish. Father told him to go to Nineveh. He wanted to see them destroyed. Just like a lot of Israelites today, right? Preaching destruction on people. So they think they're better than everybody else.
Only but do.
All right, yeah. First Kings, y'all. First Kings 8. Man, that was a good call, Keith. Yeah. Y'all know this is dedication to Solomon, man. We go through this a lot. I just want to draw one thing out of here. And you can start that at the 44th verse.
1 Kings 8:44, your people go out to battle against their enemy. Well, whithersoever thou shalt send them, and shalt pray unto Yahweh toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house that I have built for your name. Then hear thou in heaven their prayer and their supplication, and maintain their cause, if they sin against you. For there is no man that sin not.
You probably should have said when they sin against thee. This would have been a little bit more accurate.
It says when right here.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I put hearts around it.
What?
Putting hearts around
Yay, 12, 30.
Y'all got me twice in 1 month that day. Twice. I forgot what that first one was. Oh, I know what it was.
the Arab in the evening.
No.
The evening.
Yeah, they probably, no, they ain't got that. No, that ain't that smart. That book ain't that smart. They got me in,
That was last week, wasn't it?
huh?
It was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, Leviticus 23rd chapter, the 20th time.
Oh.
Because we said, these are my feasts. It's not these are my feasts, it's these are my more meetings, these are my appointed time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Such great verbiage.
Still goes away though.
No.
Anyway, but yeah. Men, when they sin against thee, but there is no man that sinned. I walked straight up into that, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
I could have kept my mouth shut and justified the word if.
All smiles.
The most important 2-letter word in the Bible, if. But it's when they sin against thee, for there is no man that sinneth not. There absolutely is no man that sinneth not. Stop acting like you do not fall short. That's not a good look.
Right.
Not a good look whatsoever. Because we do fall short. We ain't supposed to. Every day, man, we're supposed to be working toward that perfection. Toward that perfection every day. Don't nobody think that this is a lesson to try to justify sins, because it's not. People think that we're trying to justify sin by talking about how we all fall short. No, I've heard people say that. Brothers try to justify sin by talking about we ain't none of us perfect, whatever. No.
Well, this sorry to say, but I was just gonna say, but it is, you got some people who like, well, they be like, look, well, we ain't perfect, so they think like, well, you know you're not perfect, so you just gonna, they ain't even striving to be perfect. They just like, okay, well, you ain't right, so therefore, it's no need to try to get right. You get what I'm saying? That's all that is.
That's a doctrine straight out of the pits of hell right there. Man, that's that,
Because Jesus don't, so we gotta do it, doctor.
you try to, it's a term I use for that, it comes to me later. But anyway, yeah, that's messed up right there. Anyway, y'all, but I just wanted to read that. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter. That's the one to draw from out of that. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter.
I got you.
Deuteronomy 28th chapter, and pick this up at the 63rd verse. Huh?
28 and 63.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that as Yahweh will rejoice over you to do you good and to multiply you. So Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to nothing. You shall be plucked from off the land where you go to possess it. And Yahweh shall scatter you among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither you or your fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Now, why did I read this? I read this because of the fact of, again, it's about perception. It's about us having the right perception on certain things. Our family, our brothers and sisters, our loved ones, every last one of them, every Sunday, whether it's Islam or Christianity, are sitting somewhere where we know they really shouldn't be sitting at, serving a false god, false deity, idols. But then what do? We put on a certain level of judgment and contempt into what they're doing. That's not the right spirit of judgment and contempt. Well, how you gonna have that judgment and contempt on something that you used to do also?
That's why I seem like it should be more understanding, because you know we just came from
But see,
that.
that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
I would wage that most Israelites do not have that understanding. We act like we've never been in a Baptist church. Ain't never been in a choir. Some elders got videos of me. I ain't never seen them, but if they recorded them back then, well, y'all laugh y'all heart out. Y'all saw some videos of me singing in the choir. Had my tambourine get down. Y'all be laughing. But that was my life. Why? Because this right here, because it's part of the curse.
Right.
Any part of this curse that we as a people are under is something to be pitied.
Okay.
It's something to be pitied. I don't care. Part of that curse is the infirmities that we deal with. African Americans are number one in. Y'all could just go on.
Let's just say something, and this
Right.
insert statement here.
That's something to be pitied. That's something that as servants of Yah, we should have compassion on. You know? Man, bro, I see you about to go into that church, man. I just want to give you this card, man. I want you to check that out, man. That's some good information there, whatever. I ain't got to be like, hey, man, bro, be trying to browbeat this dude.
I seen when I was going to meet him, tree, I seen one of the old ministers from the church I used to go to.
Yeah.
I said, hey, nigga, what's up, man? How you been? You know, just speaking to
Right.
him. I didn't say, hey, man, pointing at
Exactly. Just speaking to him, right.
You know how your family doing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, when people see that, they see the change in you, they understand that, okay, we're now on the same path that he's been on
Right.
through these years.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny because how back then we would see things, oh, he gonna provide, you know, he gonna do this, that, and the third of faith, but all in all, we knowing that we're not keeping the commandments, we just doing, you know, religion, and we practicing something that, okay, that we've been doing since we were younger, or in other generations have been doing it, getting stuck up in this deception.
Right.
And it's like, for people on one side,
Who sees it with them?
gracious to somebody that brings them out of that thing, so that way he can send you back in to bring the other
Yep.
out.
Yep. In that
So,
order.
that's a blessing here.
Mhm.
So,
All right. Hallelujah. Isaiah 58. Isaiah 58. Give it to me, Israel. Give it to me like I'm standing
On the side of the corner. Cry loud. Yeah, when you say,
verse 1. Come on, what you got there? Isaiah 58, verse 1.
Isaiah 58 on the top. Cry loud.
No,
He ain't do it.
It's the all the
He ain't get it, bro.
cry loud!
There you go. Come on.
You not spared! Lift up your voice
Like
like the shofar!
they be going off
And
with
do
it.
what? And do what?
Declare my people their transgressions. In the house of Yaakov, their sin.
Right.
12:30's on fire today.
Y'all understand the context of that passage, though?
Truth be told, no. I mean, I understand the passage, but like far as the content that leads to that passage, I don't know.
Okay. Somebody help me out. Somebody help break that down for me.
I
Because
mean,
this is what they use to justify
right. That was it. Yeah, I mean,
what they do.
but I don't know like where
Yeah, but
the
he's
actual.
okay. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I said I don't know
I'm
like.
going to give it to you real clear.
Yeah,
Real clear.
yeah. I understand what it's saying,
Right, of
but
course, we understand what's said.
but I don't know where the content. Right, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, let's see what you got.
Abundantly started talking about people who seeking him, like these people that know him better, people that seeking him. He's saying, show them they transgress. Is that what you were getting at? Compared to
Oh, no, but
No, go ahead.
No, I already know.
Y'all, okay.
Well, it was almost like he was in a little bit. These people already know the word.
Right.
And he said, this is the house of your cold, their sin. So if you know what you're supposed to be doing, why aren't you doing it?
Right.
So he was like saying, he was
Right.
crying out loud to those people who
Right.
know the truth.
Correct.
Not the people that don't
Right.
know the truth.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's what I was saying.
Now,
I kind of,
Alright.
it was just
Yeah.
like,
How would
yeah,
I-
maybe.
Yeah.
somebody to that. My question is, I'm sorry. I feel y'all. I mean, I ain't got no problem understanding, but the people who, if they do hear, they be like, well, how can I say, okay, this is not really what it means. I can come to such and such to read to kind of give them
Because
the
you know
gist.
from the beginning that this is Isaiah, and Isaiah is a prophet. So you know
Right.
Isaiah's prophesying to the ones of
That's
us,
the
of our
key.
ancestors.
See, that's the key.
Okay,
That are
okay,
born.
got
That's
you,
the
got
key.
you, got
See,
you. Okay,
that's the
I
key.
got you. Okay.
When you read the scriptures from historical content, let the historical part.
Right. Okay, I feel.
When you do that, because I'm out here on the street and I'm not looking at it from historical. Matter of fact, you look at me, I'm dressed like I came from back in time. Whatever, I ain't come back in time because we knew better, he would do better. But the point is, that's the point. Just like what Cynthia said, just like what he was trying to say, even though I don't think that. Anyway, I got you. Anyway, but no, that's the point though.
Okay.
When these prophets said the stuff that they said, they were talking to Israel.
Right.
Yeah.
They were talking to
Believers already.
Sarah. They were
Yeah.
talking to Sarah.
Yeah, we know- they
They
know
were
what's
talking
going on.
Whatever other Hebrew
Okay.
name she got.
I thought that they was in Jerusalem.
That too.
There.
How can you be in the Holy Land and the laws of the land are the laws of the Most High?
Right.
And you doing everything contrary to that.
That's sweet. That's
Oh
what I'm
man,
saying too.
cry
The laws of the
aloud, lift
land.
your voice.
The laws
He-
of the
you know, he
land
like,
are the laws
no,
of the
this ain't no time to be pussyfooting around.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to
Okay, I see.
Tighten up, because the
get your mind right. Get your mind right. Anyway,
That's something I never thought of.
right, that's the point though.
Yeah, I'm saying like the laws of that land was the laws. That was like totally different. You know.
Everything you read, when you read it from historical dynamics, it magnifies every aspect of the word.
Right. Okay.
You can't put that in there. So that's what it's telling me to do. I got to knock on the doors and start kicking these people out because they got a big Christmas tree up.
I said, yeah,
Now, if one of us put a Christmas tree up, we know
Exactly.
better.
Now we
Then
can
this
do that.
pertains
Yeah, you supposed to
to
do
us.
that. Yeah.
Cry loud,
Exactly.
spare not.
Like,
Right.
what is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah, you know, yeah.
You know better.
Man, come on,
Yeah.
man.
No wonder you ain't
You
want to
know about that Jeremiah too.
It's like something home.
All that.
Well, you know better.
Right.
Come to the ask me to know if the $50 for JEA days, but easy because you done. Yeah, but I got it.
And then you know what? I ain't gonna read the rest of this, but verse 2 he said, yet they seek me daily and delight to know my ways. So they right, exactly.
I say verse 2 then.
Oh,
you
did
hear
you?
that, did
No, I didn't hear that.
Man, see, you hearing me, you ain't listening.
All right, now, bring it up. Bring it
I
up.
said verse 2, trying to stay.
Man, you lost me when I told you to read it like you're recorded, man. You like,
Perishable, so.
I know what you meant by that because I was like,
I mean, he was actually crying.
he was actually crying.
So I had to work myself up to where I can hear you again. I had to work myself up to where I can hear you again. But if you keep reading out, he clearly let you know you're talking to Israel aware. Like y'all are honest. And the thing is, think about how important that is though, because the point is that the prophets were prophesying destruction on the people. And when the Father put that destruction out, that means I'm going to be in the midst of it too.
Yeah.
Right? Because Jeremiah, they was in the midst of all of that. So look, I'm going to be hollering. I might even have a belt in my hand or something like Yeshua did, what, in the temple.
Yep.
Not in the street, but in the temple. Because you're doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. And because there ain't even no reasoning. There ain't even no reasoning when it comes down to that. Bro, I ain't gonna try to reason with you about that Christmas tree. About what you done did to the brother's wife. About what you done put in your pocket that you know you ain't supposed to put. Man, I ain't even gonna try to reason with you on that. I'm gonna want to give you something that you're gonna be glad you got it and not the Father giving it to you. But check this out. So in the context of what I'm saying here, though, again, go to a place that we all know, but you got to understand that it's the context. That's Jeremiah 17. Jeremiah 17, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good example of why we got to start idolizing the Bible or worshiping. I think people start thinking the Bible is God or the Most High. But when we start reading it for what it is, like you said, it's historical. Like looking at it as history, as this is Isaiah talking to
Right.
instead of the Bible talking to me. This is my God. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I think people
I kinda-
the Bible too much.
I agree, but I kind of disagree. I look at it as like it's the Torah. It's like the way I need to be living.
No, but see, what he's saying is that he's not talking about you. He's talking about
How you talk to
general
people.
that do just what he's saying.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's a good point. That's a good point. Jeremiah 17. I'm gonna go right down to the verse, y'all. Jeremiah 17 and verse 4.
And thou, even yourself, shall discontinue from your heritage that I gave you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Okay, so right there, y'all, again, compassion. Because why are we doing this stuff? It's because we have been discontinued from the heritage that he gave us. And if we have been discontinued, then the world absolutely is out of order. Automatically. And this even goes for the Gentiles too. The devil did not cause the Gentiles to rule over Israel. That ain't nowhere in this book. They're over us because the Father caused that to happen. And I'm not debating nobody on that either. That's just the way it is. But the Gentiles in Jeremiah, I think that's the 16th chapter, it says that they're going to say in that day, surely our fathers have inherited lies. And they did. Part of the lies y'all inherited is our fault. Because we didn't maintain the priesthood so that y'all may know what thus says Yah and function in order. But everything falls down to us. Because somewhere in here it said that we taught the wicked ones their ways. So it falls on us. At the end of the day, it falls on us.
Yeah, we're supposed to lead by example.
Right. So here, if I know that the Father had discontinued us from our heritage that he gave us, that means, again, the spirit of compassion has to take over. Because that person has no idea what they're doing is not of the Most High. And I should not be lifting up my voice to them like a fool, hollering something to them, and they, you know, bro, you need to be wearing these fringes. What? Are you stupid? It's just utter ridiculous. Huh? And the thing is, just from you shouting at me that, I don't never want to see these ever again in life. Huh?
Never got a bad experience with somebody wearing fringes.
Yeah.
I mean, but I done saw that. I done saw that.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I lived in Atlanta, man, I saw one of the groups. This group was, I think they were the House of David, because this was even before IUIC came, because this group had on purpose, and it wasn't IUIC. And they out there, and they preach. This brother doing Deuteronomy 28 out there, and he had a nice little gathering, man. And all I could do was sit back and listen to them preach it. And I was like, wow, what's something? We're going to break down Deuteronomy 28. In the middle of them breaking down, there, the Gentiles down there, he just standing there looking.
Ain't saying there.
Ain't saying nothing. Hey man, what you looking at me for, man? What you looking at me? You want to do something to me, don't you? I was like, oh. I was like,
here we go.
And he getting the Gentile, like I had an incredulous look on his face, like, I'm just standing here. And guess what? The crowd dispersed. The dude was jamming. I'm telling you, he was breaking it down. He had a crowd out there, and he allowed this Gentile, they didn't even ask him a question.
Right.
To just do that. And the crowd dispersed. So now I slid somewhere and said, hey, yeah, you know, Deuteronomy 29. No. Deuteronomy 29, you done said the magic word. I already know what you about. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say, bro. Hey, I'm late. I got to get to church on time. That's what happens. All because of our foolishness, man. We be trying to rejoice over how many people we bring into this truth. You need to mourn over how many people you done lost in this truth. Because the Father holds every last one of us responsible for anybody that we come across that's supposed to be representing Him. Seriously. This is a serious thing. So again, that's what we're dealing with. Righteousness or self-righteousness. You need to learn the difference between these two. Let's go into Matthew, the 19th chapter. Matthew 19th chapter. Matthew 19th chapter. Verse 16. Y'all know this is one of my mainstays here too, because you get so much out of this one. Matthew 19, verse 16.
Matthew 19 to 16. Behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good things shall I do that I may have eternal life?
Now, see, to those that may not understand the psyche of what's going on here, he came and his words sounded good, sounded respectful. Only thing about it was that Yahshua was able to peep the spirit, even when we wasn't able to peep the spirit. Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? Sounds like a good, fair question, except that the person that was asked the question was on a whole nother demonstration right here. And Yahshua peeped it right off the bat, because look what he said.
Okay, when we
17.
17, he said unto him, why call me good? There is none good but one, that is Elohim. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments.
Now, this is me speaking, I gotta qualify, it's me speaking. If there had been somebody that may have really been serious and probably would have came in with the exact same words, he more likely wouldn't have replied to what he replied to. But this individual, he had to give him what he said. Look, why callest thou me good? So what he was really telling him is that if I'm telling you that I'm not good, bro, you're not good either. That's what.
And it could have been the tone that he came to him in. I'm listening to you. His tone might have gave it away too. Like
Okay.
he putting 100 on 10.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because everybody else just said master.
See, that's the thing. But we don't know, but you're right. It could have been a tone. He could have been all fringed out, like to the T. Like, good master, what the, I mean, all like, looking way better. Like, he could have been, like maybe like a Nicodemus, right? Like how Nicodemus came to him by night. And he said the same thing. He didn't say good master or something like that. He said something similar to that. We know that thou, our teacher, comes from YAH. Because no man can do these things except you be with him,
But everybody else just said master.
Right.
Nobody said good
Right.
master. Like,
But see, that was another thing too, because,
Maybe he thought about if he was to agree to that, he would have been exalting himself.
huh?
If he would have like took it like he'd have been like good master, and I would have said like I was a good master,
Right.
I would have been aware of me exalting myself.
Somewhat, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
man, you never know how they would come up with them tricks. They would come with all sorts.
that's what it seemed like to
Yeah.
the flattery.
But see, and see, that's the thing, because we see that in the writings, all the ones that came against him did rabbi.
Good rabbi, like, yeah, they
So they
did.
could trip him up.
Yeah, they all did
And they
that.
come humble like that. So that could have been something he was on too. He could have been like, oh no, not again. Right!
Gas me up.
Right, not again.
It'll butter me up.
Not
Try to butter
again.
me up before whatever.
So that's what he told. So again, that's what he responded to him. Look, there's none good but one. That's Elohim, Jack. So again, if I'm telling you I'm not good to that extent, man, I'm already letting you know you ain't nowhere near. But that was what he was saying. There's none good but one. That's Elohim. But if you would enter into life, keep the commandments. Go ahead.
Verse 18, he said unto him, which Yahshua said, thou shalt do not murder, thou shalt do no murder,
Yada, yada, yada.
thou shalt not commit adultery, thou
Yada,
shalt not
yada,
steal,
yada.
thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor your father and your mama, thou shalt love your neighbor as yourself.
And the reason why I say yada, 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 because, dude, you know these commandments. You already know them. Stop what you're doing. Stop this thing that you're coming to me with.
Because-
What must I do to enter into eternal life? Yeah, okay. But look, I'm going to play your game, and he gave him half the commandments.
Yeah, and you know what?
Yeah, gave him something.
And I was gonna say too, yeah, he did something because if a person really didn't know, the first thing Yahshua always came out his mouth with, there's one, and then he'd be like, you know what I mean? He always came out like that. Even though on the verse before that you had us read, he was saying it's only one God. You know what I'm saying? The people who, if you don't know, he's coming at you, he gonna come at you right. But with this case here, he's just saying.
Well, see, but that's exactly what they did, though.
Yeah.
Master, what is the greatest commandment of them all?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
They with them, like you said.
Yeah.
That what they did, Master. Which is the greatest of the commandments? See what he gonna say. And he didn't go directly into the ticket, man. He went to the overall, the Deuteronomy 6 chapter there. The Shema. Because you can't keep none of them unless you listen.
Right?
Unless you hear, pay attention. What's the greatest commandment of them all? Right. Okay, verse 20.
The young man said unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth up. What I'm lacking?
He's like, are you kidding me? What? I was born, I learned how to recite this before I can even speak. Are you kidding me? Man. But help me out. What lack I get? Why is he feeling like that? What lack I get?
He want him to validate him.
Yes! That was what it was. It was a cry out for validation.
Yeah.
Validation, man. Look, man. I just want to appear to be so much greater.
He like one of them cats, right? That he at the party that always got the seat at the table
Right.
there. And he want to come to him seeing that, you know, he becoming popular around the people.
Right.
He want to approach him himself and say, hey, good master, you know, what I got to do to, you know, inherit eternal life.
Right.
I already do all this stuff, you know, what else should I do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People see me as an importance.
Right.
I want you to let me know
Right.
what I can do to get
Right.
you know, so it's one of those cats.
Yep. And everything Yahshua said to him, you can tell that Yahshua wasn't feeling that energy. Verse 21.
Yahshua said unto him, if you're going to be perfect.
Perfect. If you will be perfect, okay? So perfect, and no, here's this very good example. Perfection is a whole nother level past keeping the commandments.
Yep.
It's a whole nother level past keeping the commandments. He said, look, if you will be perfect, go ahead.
If you're going to be perfect, go and sell your stuff and give it to the poor. And thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come and follow me.
You see, he told him something that he know that's something that he...
Where his heart was.
Right. You said it better than I could. Where his heart was. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Now when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful. But he had a lot of stuff.
Boy.
Great possessions.
Yahshua knocked him down.
Yeah.
Knocked him down.
If you be a big tree, without a small
What's wrong
axe,
with the dude?
waiting to cut you down. Waiting to cut you down.
Come on, man, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to hold my peace on that one, man. Yeah, hit the spirit is on this dick, man. Seriously, man. But straight up, man, it's like, man, and you know, you don't know how good you are. You on a real nice level until you open your mouth. He was right there with the people. Like I said, he probably was decked out, frizzed up, you know. Cassidy probably wasn't looking at his time. He'll say, man, I ain't going to this dude, because that dude's going to be, you know, he up there. Maintain your appearance and just keep quiet. And let other people think what they want to think about who you are. But he had to open up his mouth. You know, at that point, when he said he walked away soft, he was like, damn, why I had to open my mouth.
Stuff go when you ain't got no money.
Who man is this?
You poor when you ain't got no money.
Man,
Depressed,
boy, y'all. Yeah, come get your boy. Well, y'all got me tripping today. All right, let's go into Job. No, oh man. This lesson is fun. It should be funny. It should be fun. But it is what it is. Righteous is self-righteous. And this here in Luke 18 chapter, I'm telling you, I'm probably going to be on my knees. Because this is just the hilarious of all hilarious. Luke 18 chapter. This is a funny lesson. But it's something we need to understand. Luke, I'm going to have to turn the page. Luke 18 chapter and verse 9. Let me try to get you this without
Luke
laughing.
18:9. He spake the parable unto certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others.
Oh,
2 men went up into the temple to pray. The one a Pharisee and the other a publican. The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself.
Verse
Elohim, I thank you.
Verse 11 now.
Elohim, I thank you that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this publican.
Yeah, he put that. I'm waiting on me about my own business, cuz I don't even know you, man.
like this, and he go.
Like, who you talking about? Well, like that dude.
He in the spirit, everybody.
You can't talk about me.
And the funny part about it, though, he started off.
I don't even think I realized that he said this public.
And I'm so glad, you know what I'm saying?
Right, stop.
And I ain't like these.
No, wait. Before he said that, though, he gives examples.
Okay.
And that ain't all right either.
And then he said,
That's not all right either, but he gives examples, you know. He gives examples, and that's not all right. I'm not as other men.
Like this cat over
I'm not, you know, I don't extort from nobody. I'm not unjust. I'm so into the adultery, man.
with my neighbor.
Or even that.
Everything, you know, I'm
I
not
should have like that. I brought it in. I shouldn't have did that.
back, Father. You know I do. Anything you say.
Man, but this cat right here, right? I don't even know why he up there. You know what the dude did last night, man? What the dude did last night? Man, he's here today. Go ahead. Start that verse again, man.
The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. Elohim, I thank you that I am not as other men are, extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as his brother. I fast twice in a week. I give tithes all that I possess.
He's still talking
Why he on that man so
Hey, this might be the same dude we just read about. This might be.
Oh, the one that came to say goodbye.
Right.
This him. Oh, man.
Okay.
and the publican standing far off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote unto his breast, saying, Elohim, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalt himself shall be abased, and he that humble himself shall be exalted.
So the twist to this is that it could have been that same publican, and instead of him, you know, throwing hands, you know, being real spill, keep my name also. Right. Like, look, oh man, fell down, humbled himself. Look, man, look. Said he won't justify. See, that's the thing, man. You know, try to make ourselves look good in front of the flesh, man. Sometimes we have to be a base so that the Father can get increase, right? I ain't got to be David because, you know, that's what David did. He allowed himself to be a base by flesh. Because he said, look, man, my son to keep me off the throne. What more can this son of Benjamin do to me as he talking all that stuff? I'm not even going to go back and forth with them. That's a lesson. People want you to be where they at, and they will say anything out their mouth to try to get you there. Let that be a warning, like, oh, I know it. See, because once you recognize where that spirit comes from, see, that's what it is about, recognizing where that spirit comes from. Because when you don't recognize it, you're going to go toe to toe. Because you think you're dealing with that person there. Yeah. That person, that's spirit. Once you recognize it, you can be like, man, you can get that Denzel Washington man. Like, you know, this that man. Like, you know what? Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Right.
I'm gonna put cases on you.
They're gonna say that, but you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I see you. I know where you at. Absolutely. But that's what this dude did. Like, look, hey, man. So, man, this is one of them fire parables, boy. You just got to get through the human others, man. Yahshua knew you had to look. You think there wasn't nobody laughing when Yahshua gave this parable?
I don't know. It depends on if they were trying to.
You know what he might, because he might have told it in a joke style, because it is a parable, so
Exactly.
he might have told it in a joke style.
Because he said, the reason why he says, and he spoke this parable unto a certain which trusted in themselves that they were righteous and despised others. So he called them out in the parable.
Okay, because he had to be like, yeah, he's praying. He's like, yeah, this dude right here.
Yeah.
You know, he probably said it in a real joking manner, yeah.
Right.
That's
of the spirit, because, you know, according to what we read, he didn't even have to call no names or anything. Don't have to call no names. Just teach the truth and let it fall where it may. Like he that is without sin cast the first stone. I ain't got to call, man, who you think he is bringing this woman here? Dolce, man, what you did? See, it's saying the same thing, but the technique is a little bit different.
Right.
Because any of us could have did the same thing, right? I mean, are you kidding me? Come on, man. I know you do. What you know and that? What was that created? No, he just said, look, you without sin cast the first stone. The same exact message, but given in a more better way. It's like we talked about Nathan, the same thing with Nathan and David all the time. David, come on, David. Come on, David. You know better than that. No. Here go this parable. Man, I got to tell you what happened. He ain't telling me it was a parable. He told me it was a real thing.
Yeah.
What happened? This dude right here, man, he was out of order. You know, he had all this sheep, and his next door neighbor only had the one little lamb. You know what that dude did? He told him just like that. Just like that. Dramatized it and everything so he could feel the wickedness of this dude. But not him. No, king, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about the parable. But the king, David, knew it was him. That's wisdom, y'all. That's wisdom on a whole nother level right there to be able to.
It was astonishing when we found out it was himself.
Right. Right.
I'm thinking I'm doing good.
Yeah. And it didn't take him alone to recognize it either.
And that's what the Father desires.
Right.
Broken spirit and contrite.
Exactly.
Not a
Good point.
sacrifice.
Good point. Good point. Good point. Real good point. All right. Let's go into the book of Job. We have it there. One day I'm going to be able to read that passage out, even cracking a smile.
Job what?
Yeah, good question. Job 35.
Right here. Hallelujah.
Oh yeah, is that right? chapter, and we got
Thank you, Joe.
before Psalm. I know it's before Psalm.
Yep, after Nehemiah. Or after Esther.
Yeah, Psalm 35. Job 35, take us up at verse 11.
Verse 11. Who teach us more than the beasts of the earth and make us wiser than the fowls of heaven? There they cry, but none give answer because of the pride of evil men. Surely Elohim will not hit vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. Although thou sayest thou shalt not see him, yet judgment is before him. Therefore trust none. But now, because it is
trust thou.
therefore trust thou in him. But now, because it is not so, it not in great extremity. Therefore, though Job opened his mouth in vain, he multiplied words without knowledge.
Right. So in the whole dynamic here, this is the young brother Elihu, and he was even rebuking even Job right here in regarding what Job did. Because Job, he was kind of falling short when he was being rebuked by his three friends. And he's telling him, surely Elohim would not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. Because that's kind of what Job's words were going into, vanity, when he was hearing it. He had righteousness in him, but when he started talking against the Most High because of what he was dealing with, that turned into vanity, if that makes sense. And he turned into his whole self-righteousness. His righteousness turned into self-righteousness.
Right.
Like, kind of paraphrasing, like, man, I ain't got no business going through this stuff. And now I'm in a conflict with my three so-called friends with this thing, Father. Do you got the right person? Because I done did this, I done did that, I done did that. And Elihu, he's the young brother, he had to kind of correct him, like, yeah, you was almost there, but you got kind of out beside yourself. That's why we have to, Father put us through things, and we don't know why he put us through these things, but we should be that much more self-reflective. Maybe Job would have done a whole lot better if he would have just been like, you know what, y'all right. Y'all right. I'm not sure what I did, but I repent. I'm going to try to do better. But it's, yeah.
Sometimes I ask those close to me if I've done something. I may have not known I've done something.
Right.
And
Right.
you can remind me that I did that, and I won't do it again. Because I didn't consciously do it.
Right.
At times we do things we don't know we do.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. We are all subject to that. Every last one of us are subject to that for whatever reason. We are. And when we stop being self-reflective, man, that's the nail on the coffin right there. Yep. Let's go into I should have looked at this. Hold up. I was thinking Matthew 5. Yeah, is that Matthew 5? Let me see. Let's say it like that too. Hold on 1 second. I think that's Matthew 5. Bear with me one more. Let's see, the Matthew 5 or Matthew 15. I'm gonna search it.
What you looking for?
No, I ain't gonna say it.
Okay.
Not now. I'm gonna get it in just a second. Oh, so it is. Yeah, it's Matthew 5. Matthew 5 and yeah, there's a lot here. Matthew 5 verse 22. Let's try that.
Yeah, it's almost right.
What? He said it?
No, I said 20.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, Matthew 5:22.
Matthew 5:22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say, you fool, shall be in danger of hell fire.
Check that out. Why is he saying what he's saying right there, though? About things that we could be in danger of in this communication. Whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of judgment. That makes sense, right? Without a cause.
Right.
Whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, that's a bad word, shall be in danger of the council. Whosoever shall say thou fool shall be in danger of hell fire. What's with that? You know, because some people think that that's just the word fool itself, just the word itself. So what is it, huh?
I think it's like imbecile or something, like a.
Or calling somebody stupid or something like that?
Yeah, but I think it's more than stupid though.
But when I look at Proverbs, they always talk about the fool, a person who is foolish.
Yeah, foolish ways
Yeah,
and all
foolish
that.
ways.
Yeah.
That's a good point. See,
Yeah,
here's
so
the
it can't
thing.
be fool.
It's
I don't
not
think.
so much about the word, it's the spirit.
Right.
Because the thing is, me and his brother's in a disagreement for whatever reason. Could be something personal, right? And it's gonna be something personal because it's the personal things that make you get upset.
Right.
Right.
Only a person who know you can say those.
Right.
Right.
Or for whatever, anything is personal, whether you know me or not,
Oh,
and
okay.
especially when, because I do, this is my personality. When somebody say I did something I didn't do, or said something I didn't say, that triggers me, and I shouldn't be triggered. I really shouldn't be triggered, and I really shouldn't, but it does for whatever reason. And first thing come out from dude, you a fool. You a fool. It's not the word, it's the spirit behind the word. Because what I should have done was not even allow myself to give place to that. That's the point. But the fact that I would utter something back like that means that I have given place to it. And now, because the point is this.
You know, turn it from being an altercation to maybe
That's the
turning it like hatred, like
That's
you
all-
turn it like you
that's
get
all
mad
it
to the
goes,
point
right.
to where you starting to hate
Right.
them in an instant,
Exactly.
and not it's like
Right.
and then instead of what happened to
Right.
him, you actually kind of
It becomes a sharp judgment, when you call somebody a fool.
right.
What it isn't, it's not something that's gonna make that person be like, oh, you right, man, you right.
Yeah.
You're right. That's what it isn't. And that's where the problem lies. That's see, because people just think it's about the word fool. No, it's the energy of you giving in to whatever spirit that made you.
Which could cause that person to not come toward the Most High.
Right. That's what that is. It said,
Or even being like in anger, like
yeah.
just, yeah.
But either way it goes, even if you're angry or not, the point is that you're giving in to even addressing it with this person. Because in your mind, they're wrong, but now you done went from maybe being at a point of reasoning to a point of allowing this person's spirit to fall on you, or whatever spirit it is to fall on you, by coming back with this, like she said, judgment, but it's coming back with get back. Right. But go ahead and read some more of that.
23. Therefore, thou bring your gift to the altar, and then remember that thy brother have out against you. Leave there thy gift before the altar and go your way. First be reconciled to your brother, then come and offer your gift. Agree with thine adversary quickly, while thou art in the way with him.
This is what I was going for right here. Agree with our adversary quickly while you are in the way with them. Agree quickly while you're right there with him. Don't wait until y'all not together. So another one, instead of being like, man, you a fool. Instead of you a fool, Man, you know what? Man, hey, you're right. You're right. Agree with your adversary quickly. Go ahead.
Agree with your adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him. Lest at any time the adversary deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and thou be cast to prison. Truly I say unto you, thou shalt by no means come out thence, till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing.
Now, see, now that right there really should open up our understanding of certain things. Because we allow ourselves to get into these dynamics, right? And sometimes in our mind, what's the first thing our mind think of? Oh, you know what? It's cool. The father deal with her. Father deal with her. That's easy, right? We can go there real quickly when we're in this situation. But while you're saying the father would deal with him, her, the father first requires something of us first.
Yeah.
Ain't that something? And believe me, I might sound like I'm teaching this because I know and this is the way I function, but sometimes it's not the way I function. And I need to really be aware of that dynamic that the Father wants us to do whatever we can to appease it. And by doing it, we giving glory to Him. Not glory to ourselves, because sometimes the adversary might make him go hard in you, even more so. Okay.
Okay, Alpha.
If I do it, in 2 seconds, it'll be right back where it is. I got the nasty rocks. Top your win. These ain't these type of locks. All right. Anyway, yeah, but that's man. Again, righteousness or self-righteousness. Can't be self-righteous. Everybody can't understand your righteousness. People are offended because you're sitting in here right now. There's somebody out there offended right now. It's because of where you at right now. And you know what? They don't even know why. Why do I feel that type of way? Somehow I can't stand her or him. So there's a moderator that said that about me. That tripped me out when he said that. Man, that's Josiah. I can't do him. I don't know why. I don't know why I feel like that. I'm like, wow, that's heavy. Man, whoever heard of having something against a person and don't even know why you have that?
That's a demon.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're out there.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure that we're not in that number.
Right.
For real.
That's my twin. Pretty personal.
All right, y'all. Moving right on. I just got to finish.
What's the judge?
I only got to finish, y'all. Let's go into Matthew 7th chapter. Real easy. Matthew 7th chapter and verse 1.
Matthew 71. Judge not, and ye be not judged. And you be not judged. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. And with what measure you meet, it shall be measured to you again. And why behold thou the mote that is in your brother's eye, but consider not the beam that is in your own eye? Or how would thou say to your brother, let me pull out the mote out of your eye, and behold, the beam is in your own eye?
Right, how, man? How can you do that? It's deep, but go ahead.
You hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of your own eye, then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of your brother's eye. Give not that which is holy unto dogs, neither cast you your pearl before swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again and rend you.
Right. You can't even preach to everybody. You can't even share this truth to everybody, man. You just can't. You have to allow the Spirit to lead you. Seriously. Because you open up your mouth and say what you think is what thus says YAH, and they're going to do just what it is right here, because you didn't have the spirit of discernment in you.
Right.
Can't give it to everybody.
Especially when you come into the truth, you just want to tell everyone.
Yep.
Or when something, when you just learn something new, like the beginning of the year, this is the first of the month, and Exodus 12, and I was just like, I have to tell everyone this is amazing. And nobody wants to hear it.
Favorite cousin. Been your favorite cousin as long as you know your cousin. Now guess what? Apparently not. Yeah, but that's messed up though, but hey, so you gotta be careful. You got to be very, very careful. You know, that's the reason why the people that are like unlearned and not walking this way, I rarely ever just introduce this conversation to them people.
Right.
I always stand and wait. Always. Because when we get finished battling, I'm always gonna be able to say, nah, right, right, that's this. I was minding my own business. I ain't trying, you know. Yeah. Or even if I just happen to start a conversation, like I see somebody, they might have a Bible with them, or whatever. I might say something that I think is nice to introduce what's gonna be short. I'm gonna say, hey, give me that Bible, man. Let me show you something, man, and do a whole little lesson in front of them. Just because they got you know, you gotta be wise, man. You don't want to have no reason for people to gainsay, even though people are going to gainsay for whatever reason. Just don't be the cause of it.
Right.
That's why we don't lift up our voices and holler loud in the street or whatever, because that's not the dispensation that we're in right now.
Crowd loud.
We are in a dispensation where the whole world is in darkness right now. And unless you know how to be easily entreatable to people as the Father was easily entreatable to us, you do best to be quiet and just
Humble yourself and serve.
yeah, right. In that order.
Just watch, because it's
In
how they
that
start
order,
to
okay.
clear out the people out
All
of
right.
their hands. Slowly but surely.
Romans 11. I only got one more place to close out after Romans 11.
You just let it go. I'm sorry, sir. Wait, Roman?
Where we at?
Romans 11. I think we just read this too.
Yeah, we did.
But again, everything was about context. I'm telling you, a lot of passages, boy, we could read it with just about in every lesson because it touches on it. I love that. Well, that's what makes this word a living word, seriously. Romans 11, and let's start with verse 1.
Romans 11, I say then, have Elohim cast away his people? Elohim forbid. But I also am Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Elohim have not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What ye not, what the scripture said Elijah, Elijah.
Yep, that's right.
How he make intercession to Elohim against Yahshua, saying, Yahuwah, they have killed your prophets, dig down your altars. And I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what said the answer of Elohim unto him? I have reserved to myself even thousand men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Even so then, at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace.
And I know people who, when they got to this word, they felt like they were the only one in this word. Like, wow. Ain't no, I never heard of none of this stuff before. Are we the only ones doing this thing? But he said, look, man, you got to look at the example of Elijah. He thought he was the only one left. And he ain't had too long to go either. But he says, even something at the present time, there's a remnant according to the election of grace. Go ahead.
And if by grace, then is it no more of works. Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then is it no more grace. Otherwise, work is no more work.
I know, right?
What then? Yahshua have not obtained that which he seek for.
Israel have not obtained that which he seek for. Go to church every Sunday morning, every Sunday evening, and 5 times during the week. But we still have not obtained that which he seeketh for. Go ahead.
But the election have obtained, the rest were blind.
Blinded. The rest were blinded. Who's able to unblind these people?
Father.
Can you unblind them? Can't unblind them. Again, this is where mercy and compassion comes in it. We allow ourselves to get upset because my oldest brother can't see this thing. Or my younger brother can't see this thing.
Or our children.
Let me say it again. My younger brother can't see this thing. No, seriously. Seriously. Upset, right? I'm upset, right? But I'm not supposed to be upset because, again, the Father said, Israel had not obtained that which he seeks for, but the election have obtained it. You are the elect. You are the elect. Everything that the Father have allowed you to open your eyes to see, regardless of how you got it, you are the elect. Oh man, because everybody that learned it, they know it was an eye-opening thing. They didn't just learn it and be like, oh, you know, I know something. Nah, they're like, dang, what? The Sabbath? Sabbath day? What? I've been tearing up this pork chop every Wednesday evening and twice on Sundays? What? We are the who? We African Americans, not African Americans? What? It's an eye opener. It's an eye opener. All of it is an eye opener.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can come into this and learn this stuff and not and just be.
You know, it's funny you said that because remember I told you Pebbles was on the YouTube and she said the Father showed himself to me and how he showed himself to me. She's in tears.
Right.
She's literally in tears and she's going, he showed me his name. And she started crying. And I was like, wow. Now this is a singer, like married to,
Fabulous,
yeah. And she was just bawling on YouTube crying.
Wow.
I was like, wow. So you, like, for us, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we know Yahshua. Or we know Yah. Or I think she called him Yahweh because that's how
Right,
she came
exactly.
in. And she was like, but he showed me his, and she looked and she turned her head and she was, tears just rolling. I was like, wow.
Wow.
Hell, that's a good one.
Yeah.
To do. Hallelujah. That we got some more good music. That's
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yep.
That was that's what I've been looking for. I've been looking for them good
But
choirs.
but how he said it's an eye opener. It's like
Yeah.
it's normal for us, but then you see how it's an eye opener. Like what? Because she just crying, just looking at the.
Yeah, but the
name.
point is, it wasn't always normal for us, though.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying though how
Right.
you said the rest are blinded. That's how you
Right.
know that eye opener thing. He opened her
Uh-huh.
eyes because it's like we say now this is 2022, like, and she's crying in 2022 just from learning the name Yahweh.
Yeah.
That's deep.
But the Father don't never want us to believe that we were a part of that blindness, though.
Right.
He don't never want us to no, just like for instance, that's like even my babies that were born into this truth, you know, they're in their late 20s, 130 years old now. You see how they've had to walk their own path,
Right.
even though they were born into it.
Right.
But the Father said, you know, train up a child the way they would have, you know, he would not depart, or it could be a case of a prodigal dynamic. But the point is that when you are raised up in something, you still have to have that experience for yourself.
Right.
You have to see.
Yeah, yeah. Because you could grow up in it and still not really have that personal,
Sort of.
eye-opening person.
Basically, still having that.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but that's, you know,
that Christian mindset.
you have to have a personal relationship with me. I hate to do that, but that is true.
That
though.
is what it is.
Because you have to seek him.
Right.
You have to want to seek him and have
Right.
a conversation with him.
Right.
If you're
Right.
seeking him, then you're going to be reading his word and listening to him. Or you're going to be talking to him by praying to him and asking for an increased wisdom and knowledge and understanding.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I did. I was always curious, you know, and I was like, you know, studying the word and whatnot, and understanding that, okay, coming to the understanding of somebody being Hebrew. I mean, just this little simple thing.
Right.
Somebody being Hebrew, a Greek name doesn't make any type of sense.
Like that.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's so simple, but it's right though.
it's real simple.
Yeah. Okay. Where we at?
Oh, we at verse 8, ain't we?
Yes.
Should be.
Right.
According that is in written. Elohim has given them the ruach, slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear, until this day.
Hey, again, that's what? That's compassion that we need to have.
Until this day.
Because that came through the Father, through our ancestors, man. And until the Father opened them up, man, you could be hollering, lifting up your voice all day long. And that ain't gonna happen until the Father opened it up. And then look what David said. Go ahead.
That we said, let them take be made a snare in the trap house, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. That their eye be darkened, they may not see, bow down their back always.
Always. So that's what we read about the people we go through what we go through. Because the fact is, if you get blessed, you need to know that it comes through the Most High. And nowhere else. But until then, as a people, y'all still dealing with it, doing the spirit of slumber. So again, the elect have to have the spirit of compassion on those who the Father has not opened their eyes as of yet. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Finally, y'all gonna close out with Psalm 25. We're gonna read it. Let's close it out. Probably not even related to the lesson, but close out with it anyway. Psalm 25, let me start at the top of the verse.
Psalm 25, 1 unto you. O Yahuwah, do I lift up my soul? O my Elohim, I trust in you. Let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me. Yeah, let none that wait on you be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. Show me your ways, O Yahuwah. Teach me your paths. Lead me in thy truth and teach me. For thou art the Elohim of my salvation. On you do I wait all day. Remember, O Yahuwah, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindness, for they have been ever of old. 2:30, you quoted somebody chapter 2 earlier today.
Yeah.
Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions. According to your mercy, remember thou me for thy goodness' sake. O Yahuwah.
And if David, the man after Yah's own heart, can say this, yeah, how much more should we be able to say that? David will say, look, remember me as a man of your own heart, Yah. Remember me for all of my righteousness. He knew better than that. Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgression, according to your mercy. Remember thou me for thy goodness' sake, O Yahweh. Go ahead.
Verse 8, good and upright is Yahuwah, therefore will he teach sinners the way. The meek will he guide and judge, the meek will he teach his way. All the paths of Yahuwah are mercy and truth, unto such as keep his covenant and his testimonies. For thy name's sake, O Yahuwah, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. What man is he that...
Again, that's the awesome one right there. He said, for your name's sake, O Yahuwah, pardon mine iniquity. For my iniquity is great. So, okay, so this is a lesson, right? David said, look, my iniquity, Jack, my sins, they ain't small sins, man. My sins are great. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Verse 12. What man is he that fear Yahuwah? Him shall he teach in the way that he shall treat. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secret of Yahuwah is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant.
And again, in the context of that I had just pointed out, when he said that my sins are great, like this is, man, is the king of Yah's anointed, man. King, he's the king. But he looking at that like, you know what, this ain't even the end of it. You know, this is just a title that I have, that the Father blessed me to have. And this is just what it is right now. But the real treasure is inherit the earth. And I know when I get that, oh, I got it then. But until I got that, this is just the road that I'm blessed to be in right now. Ain't that something? And that's, I mean, when you really think how deep that is, that's something. But go ahead.
Verse 15, my eyes are ever toward Yahweh, for he shall put my feet out of the net. Turn you unto me, and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged, or bring thou me out of my distresses. Look upon my affliction and my pain, and forgive all my sins.
Yeah.
Consider my law. Consider my enemies.
You can't put it together, but it's an Alabama thing, y'all. But go ahead. My enemies, go ahead.
For they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. Oh, keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in you.
He said, look, consider my enemies. For they ain't a few. They ain't a few.
Whole lot of them.
A whole lot of them. You can't even count them. Now, you probably got a couple of people. She ain't got no enemies, I know. She ain't got none.
From Cynthia.
No, not Cynthia. Cynthia probably got a whole bunch of them.
Come on here now.
I love y'all, man. Y'all know I do. Y'all, man. I ain't just talking about me, y'all, man.
I knows I do.
Y'all know I kill him dead.
Oh, I think
That's why I read that back.
Verse 19.
Consider my enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. Oh, keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in you. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on you. Redeem Yahweh, O Elohim, out of all his trouble.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, hallelujah.
Actually, that was really, I mean, actually, Psalms was really fitting. It was a
It
good
did
conclusion
fit, yeah.
because
Right.
it really, the title's like, you know, that we is asking for a pure heart, not to be righteous or have self-righteousness. And, you know, and so that's really nice.
He did like the publican did. He talked about his sin.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All
I
right.
can understand why he has so many enemies because he's known for taking over nations. So
Who that?
everybody hate him.
David.
David, yeah, everybody hate David. If I was if I wasn't in Israel, you know what I mean? I know this man come. You know I hate him.
I'm almost sure that he's not talking about the other nations.
Yeah, you just saying it. You know, talking about his own. Yeah. You know they don't like. You know.
Some
Yeah.
people.
You know it's always
Because
hard
the
for us to.
Father had him do that. He was doing the will of the Father.
Well, yeah, but that don't mean, you know, people outside, we looking in, we don't know nothing
Well, he said
about they, you know.
But he said the sword would not leave his house because of what he did
Because
to
of what he did, the
Uriah.
other father put that on him.
He put that
Yeah.
You gonna be in smoke all the time?
From his own household.
from his
Not
own
from the
household.
enemy.
Oh, okay.
Household.
Yeah.
So,
It's one thing that the Father, he delights that he loves it when we confess our sin.
Yeah, he does.
And comes to him because of our sin. Because we've done wrong. I mean, he loves when we talk to him.
Yeah.
So it's like doing that and knowing that you're wrong, come to him. He ain't gonna shame you because you did wrong. He know that you sin. You know, he said like that. He said, "I was born in iniquity and shit."
Wow.
Born in sin and shit.
Shaken
In
in
iniquity,
right.
my mom conceived me. So it's like,
What is that? That's Psalm 51, ain't it? I be looking for that.
I'm fine.
I know what verse I've been looking for. I can't seem to find no more. I used to know it.
Yeah, but absolutely, man. Absolutely.
What verse you talking about?
Yep.
I think that is Psalm 51.
Yeah, 51 Psalm.
Oh, is it verse 5?
Sin on that.
Hold on.
Yeah, so it is.
51 and 5?
No, well, he got to read it, but he was just making a point.
You ready to go there and read it?
But yeah, read that from the first verse. Yeah.
Wow.
Have mercy upon me, O Elohim, according to your loving kindness, according to the multitude of your tender mercy. blot out my transgression.
And real quick, I'm sorry. Here in mine, I don't know if y'all have the same heading there. It says, to the chief musician, a psalm of David, when Nathan the prophet came unto him after he had gone to Bathsheba.
Oh,
That's what I read in mine. Let's read that start over again.
have mercy upon me, O Elohim, according to your loving kindness, according to the multitude of your tender mercies. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgression, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only have I sinned, and done this evil in your sight, that thou mightest be justified when you speak, and be clear when you judge. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward part, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all my iniquities. Create me a clean heart, O Elohim, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and take not the holy Ruach HaKodesh from me. Restore unto me the joy of your salvation, and uphold me with your free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. Deliver me from the blood guiltiness. Wonder what that might be.
Yes.
O Elohim, thou Elohim of my salvation, and my tongue shall sing aloud of your righteousness. O Yahuwah, open thou my lips, and my mouth shall show forth your praise. For thou desire not a sacrifice, else would I give you. Thou delightest not in burnt offering. The sacrifice of Elohim are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. O Elohim, thou wilt not despise. Do good in your good pleasure unto Zion. Build thou the walls of Yahusha. Then shalt thou be pleased with the sacrifice of righteousness, with burnt offering and whole burnt offering. Then shall they offer bullets upon your altar.
Hallelujah.
That's
Hallelujah.
nice.
And see, that last part there, that goes good with that Isaiah first chapter. We talk about the sacrifice and offerings and like he didn't like them vain oblations and stuff like that. Because they are vain. But if you are righteous and you're doing that before the Most High, like Abel, he loved, that's a sweet savor to him.
The book of Adam and Eve said that different. They said Cain offered up a lamb, and the Most High said that he had murderous thoughts. That was one thing I wanted to kill his brother and kill him lamb.
What book was that?
The book of Adam and Eve.
Oh,
You got it at your house.
Yeah, I do.
Go read one more time.
I do. I got it, yeah.
Wow.
All right.
No, I'm just thinking about that thought, even him shedding that blood. You know what I'm saying?
Did you find out?
That
No,
being
no,
the first.
but I was
I don't know if they were been doing sacrifice, that being the first one recorded. And him spilling that blood, giving the mindset of him free.
Don't do it, but as far as he is,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, they don't.
You know what's that?
How you ever see
Don't-
a serial killer get to the point
What
that
they-
he abused?
Man, y'all.
Okay.
What
We
they
need some prayer
Basically what
right
they say
now. We
was
need
not
some
what they
prayer.
When they
What
teach
Isaiah
us
said,
not-
wash you if you clean.
I want that
What he
because
said
It's
before.
you know
in
what's that?
all the other
You got
gospels, they got different things.
Blood
It's
shed,
that
what I'm
one.
trying to say.
All right.
Hold on, he had a question. He was looking for.
Oh,
Well, it's not concerning the list. Actually, we go ahead and sign on out, but it's just I just want to find it
Okay.
in the word.
Hallelujah.